Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following confession that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and it reads like this. I ran away from my husband and I did not know that I will end up staying with a ritualist. How are you, Brother Nashi? Please hide my identity. I am writing this story because most of you people, even if you were to see me, Brother Nashi, today, you will say that somehow I got lucky, but you do not know that there are things that I see on a daily basis that can even give you a heart attack. What has really brought me to you is that I'm someone that is always depressed at all the times, and I am also having a lot of sleepless nights, and I am thinking about ending my life because I do not know what else to do. It is not easy living under the roof of people that got rich using money ritual. My name, Brother Nashi, you will call me Tarim, and I am a woman that has been living in South Africa. I will say that for the past 5 years, I've been living here in South Africa. If you were to see me driving a nice car, you would not even think that the person behind that wheel is a non-South African, because I am living an expensive lifestyle, and I want to urge other people to never compare the lives of the people that you follow on social media as they are spending their money, because you do not know the things that they do in the dark. And never believe when someone say that they got rich because they were just lucky. My story started when I was still back home in Zim. I got married when I was only 20 years old to my husband. My husband, he was someone that used to be loving, but things changed after we came to South Africa. I can say that South Africa and the beauty of Zulu women confused my husband. He started to cheat on me with several women, mainly South African women that he would meet at the tavern where he used to go and drink his alcohol. And because he knew that there was nothing that I could do, because I did not have any legal papers to stay in South Africa, he would beat me, he would bring Zulu women, and he would tell me to sleep on the floor whilst your man is in bed with another woman. It used to be so painful for me, but there was nothing that I could do. In order for me to survive in the location where I was staying, I would walk around asking for people if they wanted someone to wash their clothes, and I was surviving by doing that. Meanwhile, my husband was drinking. Whenever he would have gotten drunk, he would beat me. Sometimes he would even hit me with the cooking pots. Sometimes he would lock me outside at night if I would ask him if it was okay for him to bring all of these women into our house, and then he tells me to sleep on the floor whilst he's making love with another woman. One day he beat me in front of other people because I had arrived late from this other piece job that I had gotten, because we did not have electricity. So I just wanted to get a piece job so that I can be able to buy some electricity and I can cook. Brother Nashi, I had never been so ashamed in my life. I lay down crying that night and I said this prayer: God, if you see me now, please remove me from this place. One woman that I used to do some piece job with, her name, I will call her Marine. She was a South African woman who had a cousin that was in Gauteng. That is how I ended up being in Gauteng. For she said to me, do you know that the statistics in South Africa says that the majority of women that die, they die because of gender-based violence in their relationships. So don't die for your husband. Go to my cousin who is in Gauteng. She is staying in this other estate. If you go there, you can market and you can get a job. She even told me that the job that she had once gotten it was so hard. That is why she had returned back to Durban. So I ran away from my husband. I did not even say goodbye to him properly. Arriving in Joburg, I only had one bag. I stayed with some other woman in a room that was just crowded. We were about 7 people in that room. All of these women, they were looking for jobs. In the morning, we would wake up and we would walk around the estate just looking for a job. Some they would get hired, but as for me, it was very difficult to get a job because most places they did not want foreigners, especially if you did not have any papers. I cried one day because a certain security guard insulted me, saying that you people, you have flooded our country. But I guess that poverty teaches a person to endure even if someone say bad stuff about you. One afternoon, I arrived at a certain estate and it looked like it belonged to multimillionaires and you could not walk inside, so you would wait just close to the estate to see if there is anyone that can get you a piece job. So there was this other old woman. She worked inside the estate. She was just having a lunch. She was sitting close to a bus stop that was close to that estate. She then asked me if I had any experience, and I said, yes, Gogo, I do have experience. I can work as a maid. Apparently, there was a certain Lesotho maid that he had just left suddenly without giving her employers any warning at all. Brother Nashim, this house, when I was finally invited inside, because I gave her my phone numbers, and then that was when she said that she was going to speak with those people to hear if they still wanted another maid. So after a couple of days, that was when I was called and I could not sleep the night before the interview. I was then taken inside of the estate. Since at this house they did not allow any foreigners to enter without proper documentation, they had to make a deal with the guard so as to allow me inside of the estate. When I was inside the estate, I even thought that maybe I had died and I had gone to heaven, because those houses, they are so beautiful. I was looking and marveling at all the houses that were all over the estate. When we finally arrived at the house where I am currently working, the house has 4 garages fully packed with cars, and it has a big swimming pool. The family is a wealthy Zulu family. The madam, she is someone that is a classy woman. The boss used to be very quiet, but now he speaks with me quite often. So the backstory that they told me was that the boss's father, he used to operate taxis in the 90s, and then that was when he did his money rituals. He ended up with a lot of taxis that he got, and by the time that he passed away, my boss was the one that took over the family business, because he saw that being involved in the taxi industry, it is very dangerous. That was when he decided that he did not want to continue with the family business, and he started to do trucks, construction, side tippers, and he has a lot of money. I did not know that they were money ritualists before all of this. Initially, my job was simple: cleaning, laundry, cooking, small things. My salary was 4,500 plus a room. Brother, it used to pain me a lot. You know why? Because they told me that when they hire a maid, they would have hired a gardener. So they taught me how to use a lawnmower to mow the lawn, as well as to do other jobs that a garden boy is supposed to do. So I was only getting paid 4,500, yet I was doing the job for 2 people. But even though it was not a lot of money, I would complain in my heart, but at the same time I would be thankful for what God had given to me. I saw it as a huge amount of money. The first month that I sent money back home, my mother cried even on the phone. She said, God has heard you, my child. I also thought that God had uplifted me, but there were certain things about this house that started to give me the chills. There were rooms that I had been told to never open, and another thing that I did not understand was that these South Africans, they were practicing Nigerian tradition. They would be wearing those dresses that Nigerian men wear, the black ones, and they would be accompanied by a Nigerian priest who would assist them with some traditional stuff. So I just thought that this is a thing that rich people do. I was learning to mind my own business. There was a day when I entered into the office of my boss, because they had told me that I am supposed to give the boss coffee every night before he goes to bed. So I had seen him entering into his office. What shocked me about this encounter was that I was feeling so sleepy on that night. Then I said, let me just go and give the boss his tea. Then I go straight to bed, because I did not want to wait until he would have gotten out of the office. But brother, he then just opened the door before I could even knock. He then grabbed the tray that had the cup of coffee, the sugar and everything. He walked so fast to the kitchen. He was so angry. I'd never seen him angry like that. And then he poured the sugar, everything inside the sink, and he flushed everything down the toilet. And then he said, you have to wait until I am in the bedroom so that you can bring me my cup of tea. Brother, I was so nervous on that day. But apart from him being angry with me, he is a very nice person. There are things in the house that are not normal, like I am not allowed to enter into other rooms. And my salary, let me tell you how my salary started to increase. From 4,500 that I was getting paid, they increased my salary to 7,000 rands for no reason at all. Deep down, I started to be so happy, because she was someone that encouraged me to keep on working and to be loyal to them, to do anything that they would have asked me to do without even thinking twice, and they will give me more and more money. One day, the madam then called me. She gave me groceries, clothes, and extra cash, and she said that you are someone that we trust. That is why we love to have workers that are from outside of the country working for us, because you guys, you know what you are doing. You do not question anything. You just do as you are told. She then said, from now on, I am giving you the freedom to drive the cars in our house, and you can drive any car, but do not touch these two cars. These are the cars that belong to her husband. There is a Jeep as well as a G-Wagon. She said these ones, you are never supposed to touch them no matter what. So the first time when I drove a BMW to the mall, obviously this was after they had taken me to a driving school, but I did not get like a license or anything, because by then I did not have any papers. You know, the lifestyle of people that stay in the estates, it is different from the locations. When you are coming from the location, there are roadblocks everywhere, but when you are coming from the suburbs, you move free. Because of this, I would drive to the mall without even having a license at all. So this trained me how to drive before I could even get a proper license. As time went on, they started to help me to apply for the visa, the proper visa that I got. Now I do have a temporary visa. I am based permanently here in South Africa. When I went back home after my visa was out, brother, even people back home, they could not believe it, because they gave me one of their white Fortuner and they told me to go home with that car. And when I arrived back home, people, they were so surprised that I was driving this kind of a car. Back to my story, Brother Nashi, they started to tell me that they are involved in rituals, and they told me that if I wanted to continue working for them, I was supposed to assist them with some of the rituals that they do. Some of these rituals, it involves sleeping with a snake as well as to breastfeed a snake. But they did not tell me in one day. As they started to give me gifts, I would have these dreams that were very weird. And these dreams that I was having, I would be sleeping with a snake. And when we went to Durban July, we were at this other hotel. That was when they came clean with me. We were sitting in the hotel before we had gone to our rooms, and then they said that there was something that they wanted to tell me, and if I was going to accept, then we were supposed to do a covenant. So I agreed, and the kind of a covenant that I agreed to, it was a covenant which involved me being cut by a knife and mixing my blood with my boss's blood, and this meant that I was going to be their servant who will do anything that they would have asked me to do for them. And then they told me that there is a snake that they treat as a baby that they wanted me to breastfeed to sleep with. And on that night, during Durban July, I was visited by a snake. It is a python, which is an albino. And this python, it sleeps with me whenever it wants to. And when we returned back to Gauteng, that was when my real job really began. So the job that I do in Gauteng right now is that this snake, when it is time for it to breastfeed, when it is hungry, it informs my boss, and then he informs the wife. The wife then comes to me with fresh cow's milk, and they mix it with snuff, the powder, but it is red in color. I had never seen it before in my entire life, and they mix it in the fresh milk, and then after that they give it to me to drink, and I immediately go on my period. When I am on my period, then my breast, they start to produce milk. 7 days after, the snake will start to visit me, and then it will start to suck my breast and getting the milk. I am forbidden from ever having a boyfriend, and I feel satisfied sexually. I do not feel like I need to sleep with a man because everything is cool. This snake, it comes and it sleeps with me in ways that it wants to sleep with me. This is my confession, Brother Nashi. When you post, you will tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. I can safely say that I am a willing participant in this money rituals, and I am glad that these people, they have decided to employ me, because it is very difficult to get a job here in South Africa, especially if you did not have papers. If I had not taken this risk, I tell you, brother, I would be suffering to this very day just doing some piece jobs. But now I am legal here in South Africa. No one can tell me anything. I make so much money, more than a doctor makes in a single month. So do you think that I will stop sleeping with a snake so that I can return back to poverty? Never. You can judge me all that you want, and I want to tell you that we are all dust and we are returning back to dust. It does not matter if I am killed by this Tokoloshi. The bottom line is that we are all going to the same grave. We are all going to be buried. It really does not matter. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to us by one of our dear sister, and that was a translation of the message that you were listening to. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to talk with him in the comment section. I'll be back with another episode.